results. It's my pleasure to introduce to you Harrison Peters.
Good morning. I am incredibly thrilled to share this special day with you and your family. And first and foremost, I just want to extend my sincere congratulations to the graduates. Congratulations. Just 20 years ago, I sat in your seat ready to party like it was 1999. Because it was 1999. Bill Clinton was acquitted. The Yankees had won their 25th World Series. Boy bands were big. And the countdown to Y2K had started. People still dialed into the internet to get but you got a busy signal. You may have to ask your parents about that. We also carried pagers. Many times for work, but most of the time just to look cool. It also goes without saying that I was a fashion disaster, because no real fashion came out of the 90s. But yet, despite my Velcro wallet and my baggy jeans, I sat in your seat. And I sat in your seat at that I had made it to college, let alone finish college. Every seat in this room today undoubtedly has a story. Maybe you finished your degree in 4 years, maybe 6 or more. Some of you have been told since the day that you were born that college was in your future. Others in this room found out about that possibility much later in life. The latter is my story. I'm a story of 3 children, born to a teen mom, raised by a grandmother who had a second grade education. My mother chose a life of crime and drugs, but my 65-year-old illiterate grandmother chose my brother and I. My grandmother made sure that we went to school every day, but she couldn't help me with my schooling. She loved hard, but at the dinner tables, there were no talks about what I wanted to be or what happened when I grew up or how I could get there. Her life coaching was more about what and school is just something that I did because my told me to do so. Even though she had never done it herself. She did not necessarily know what success looked like for her grandchildren. She didn't know what it meant to be high school or college educated. So when I was a 4th grade teacher, I would characterize my students as fruit. So I have my apples and my peaches and my plums, and I'd have my coconuts. Needless to say, I was a coconut. And I remember when I was in the 10th grade, being a coconut. I was sitting in class, and my teacher said, "Pete, get up." So I stood up in front of the class, and she peered at me and said, "Boy, what do you want to be when you grow up?" I said, "Well, I'm tall, I play basketball, I'm pretty good. I love to go to college and play basketball." She looked at me in front of the class and she said, "Boy, sit down. You ain't college material." So I sat down. But I also had Miss Robinson. Miss Robinson was my 10th grade teacher. And I was an equal opportunity coconut. And she would get everything that I had every day as well. But Miss Robinson's approach was very different. See, back in the days, they could pick you up by the ear and walk you outside the class and get you in that corner. And Ms. Robinson would pull those glasses down right at the tip of her nose, and she'd peer into my eyes, and she said, "Pete, let me tell you something. You're not going to tear up my class. You're going to sit your keister down, and you're going to get this work. I'm not kicking you out of school. I'm not suspending you. I'm not going to call your grandmother because you know she's going to kill you. You're going to get this work because I love you and because I believe in you and because this is a very difficult world for people who look like you that are not educated. That was over 25 years ago, but I remember those words as if they were spoken when I told my son this morning that I love him. What we tell children, it absolutely matters. The same mantra, thank you. This same mantra was reinforced repeatedly by my high school counselor, Mr. Walker, by my basketball coaches, Coach Cox and Coach Williams. It's one thing to have a ball in your hand, but what do you have in your head? These folks were role models that I desperately needed in my life. They taught me far more than how to handle a basketball. They taught me to navigate this world as a young man of color, and they taught me that it was okay to want more for myself. Wanting more for myself when no one in my family had accomplished anything but getting by. That I have never dared to reach the heights that I had potential to. And it's because of them that I aspired to attend college at UWF, where the story that I fondly call Not Giving Up on Harrison continued. As a first-generation college student, navigating the university environment didn't come easy. It was safe to say that had I attended the college school right down, the party school right down I-10, I would have never been standing here today. Thank God for UWF. UWF saw me not for who I was, but for who I could be. The University of West Florida put support systems in place that would not allow me to fail. This university provided me with deliberate designs for success. I was expected to show up, think big, work hard, and give back. Spending countless hours in the writing lab, polishing my literacy skills, and hours searching in the card catalog that can only be found now in the Smithsonian. But also giving back by tutoring other high school students during the summer crop program. I knew that I was destined to walk into a classroom, not as a cocky 10th grader with a chip on my shoulder, but as a teacher. In May of 1999, I sat in the seat that you are sitting in today, but it didn't belong to me. It belonged to my grandmother, Alberta Caldwell Murray. It belonged to my 10th grade teacher, Mrs. Robinson. It belonged to my guidance counselor, Mr. Frank Walker. It belonged to my algebra teacher and coach, Gerald Cox. It belonged to my varsity basketball coach, my harshest critic, my biggest supporter, and my biggest cheerleader, Coach David Williams. Research is clear. Children who have just one caring adult in their lives are more likely to be successful in school and life. One caring adult can change the entire trajectory of a child's life. It's really that simple. But it doesn't stop there with children. Professionals and volunteers who work in crisis hotlines of all kinds will tell you frequently that the difference between taking their life, overdosing, or relapsing is a caring adult on the other end of the phone. And it doesn't stop with people in crisis. Workplace studies show that a caring adult makes the difference between consistently coming to work and not, for all types of professionals in all types of professions. As you sit here today, prepared to take on the responsibility of the world, I want to suggest that your greatest responsibility when you walk out these doors is not to your alma mater, or your new title, or your future success, but to your neighbor, mankind. At any given time, on any given day, you have the ability to be a caring adult in someone's life. Don't wait for that opportunity to seek you out. Live each day with your eyes wide open. Live for the faces, the spaces, the places where you can add value to someone's life. As I stand here today, I'm going to make a shameless plug for public education. Hillsborough County and every county in the state of Florida is hiring teachers. As of today, you have the credentials to walk into a classroom of your own this August and save a Harrison. You're all here today because of a teacher. Steve Jobs, Melinda Gates, Warren Buffett, Sheryl Sandberg, every other successful adult that we can think of all became who they are thanks in part to a teacher. Teachers changed my life. And when I had the opportunity to change lives, I accepted the call. I had to pay it forward. I'm standing in front of you today as a story of contradictions. I'm the son of a drug addict. I'm the chief of schools of the 8th largest school district in the nation, where I get to make decisions that impact the lives of over 212,000 students because of a teacher, because of those who inspired learning in me. If you haven't quite decided how you're going to put that degree to work, the number to Hillsborough County Schools Human Resources is 813-840-7343. I know that was shameless, but being an alumnus today has its benefits. Hear me now. Success in titles and degrees and salaries are fleeting. Success by adding value to mankind is priceless. Before you walk across this stage today, I have just one final question. Who does the seat that you're sitting in belong to? Whoever it is very likely that it's more than one person. Before the sun sets on this day, I hope you take the opportunity to say thank you and honor them for the contributions they've made to your life. Because they didn't have to do it, but they did it anyway. When you leave here today, the secret to success, it's not truly a secret. You show up, you work hard, you think big, and you give back. Congratulations.